Wes Craven's death this past year was a huge blow to anybody who's ever wanted to watch a movie with the sole purpose of being scared.
To avoid fainting, keep repeating. It's only a movie. Only a movie. Only a movie.
It could be argued that Wes Craven was the most successful horror director of all time. The Scream franchise alone brought in almost $700 million worldwide, and his stories have all been influential for filmmakers who are willing to show horror while pushing boundaries and limits. Last House on the Left and Hills Have Eyes are without a doubt two of the most controversial films in horror history, but when you say the words Wes Craven and you want to talk about his legacy, there's only one film that should pop into your mind, and that's Nightmare on Elm Street. A group of teenagers are all having recurring nightmares featuring a creepy man terrorizing them with a glove covered in knives. That man is Freddy Krueger, a child murderer who was hunted down and burned to death by the parents of the town in order to prevent him from continuing his killing spree.
But he can't get you now. He's dead, honey, because Mommy killed him.
But now Freddy's spirit haunts the nightmares of these children, killing them off one by one while they sleep. One of the girls he's terrorizing, Nancy, learns who he is and goes into her dreams to draw him out, eventually being able to take away his power and send him away. Or, at least turn him into a car. Everybody knows about this movie. Even people who've never seen a horror movie know what Freddy Krueger looks like. And I don't want to just regurgitate a whole bunch of stuff that I learned from watching the documentary Never Sleep Again, which is on Netflix right now and you should totally watch it. So I'll try not to retread too much of that stuff, but I'll just go over how this film makes me feel. This movie still scares the crap out of me no matter how many times I watch it.
Please, God.
This is God.
As a horror fan, it takes a lot to get under my skin, but I do have a genuine fear of any situation where you're left unnecessarily vulnerable. Like all those movies where somebody wakes up in the middle of surgery and they can feel everything but can't move. That freaks me out. The head on a stick scene from Wolf Creek scared me more than anything else I've ever seen on film. But this movie follows in that pattern because it's a killer who hunts you down in your dreams. There's no help, no escape. He's a supernatural murderer with a vendetta against these children, and he's got them in a way that nobody outside of his little world can protect them. It is a brilliantly terrifying concept, and it's executed pretty well because of two key elements. First of all, Freddy Krueger is one of the greatest, if not the greatest, horror villain ever.
Nancy, help me, please. Save me from
Freddy.
Too many of the slasher villains around this time were the strong, silent type. All they were recognizable for was their masks. And don't get me wrong, the burn marks on Krueger's face make for an instantly iconic look, but what really sets Freddy apart from everyone else is his personality. Robert Englund brought so much to this character, from the facial expressions to the sadistic laughter to all those amazing one-liners.
Hey, Nancy. No running in the hallway.
I'm your boyfriend now, Nancy.
Come to Freddy. Find out now.
Freddy isn't just gonna kill you. He's gonna make fun of you the entire time he's doing it, and love every second. The other thing that makes this film work so well are the effects. Since so much of this takes place in a dreamlike state, they really take advantage of the idea that anything and everything can happen in a dream. From faces coming through the walls, to floors turning into liquid out of nowhere, to the occasional Jaws reference. And you don't need to look any further for proof of that than Tina's death. They used an old Gene Kelly revolving room set, and they were able to make it look like Tina was being dragged across every wall of the house. It looks absolutely incredible, and it's one of those movie moments where you don't see anything that's happening, but you can put the pieces together in your head, and by the time that she splashes down into a literal pool of blood, you know you've seen something messed up. That being said, not all of the visuals and the moments in the movie hold up. Like, I've never found the stretchy arms scary, especially because there's really no reason for it. Was it just so his gloves could reach the pipes to scratch against? You could just walk closer. And also the final scare in the movie where Freddy pulls Nancy's mother through the door. Was anybody really scared by that? I don't see how anybody could find that effect anything but hysterically bad. Speaking of Nancy's mother, she might actually be my favorite actress in this one. She really sells the torment of trying to live with killing someone only to find out that he's come back for her daughter.
There's something wrong with you. You're imagining things. You'll feel better when you sleep. It's just as simple as that. Go to sleep!
And then, of course, there's Nancy, who is one of the best horror leads in recent memory. She's a great character who's smart, interesting, and resourceful. I mean, how many other people can you think of who were able to beat a semi-godlike Freddy Krueger by home aloneing the hell out of her house? And she also reacts pretty in line with how I'd react if I saw something like that in my nightmare. Like, if I were asleep, and then Freddy Krueger lunged at me. Yup, that'd be me. Flailing, high-pitched screaming, wetting myself. Oh my god, is that Granny Boone from 2001 Maniacs? I mean, I know, it's Lynn Shay. She's been in everything, and that's the least popular thing she's ever been in, but that movie had Robert Englund in it too, so it's relevant. Also, she's not the only familiar face from this film. Remember when I talked about Black Christmas? Well, turns out the officer from that movie plays Nancy's father, who is a police officer. Glad to see he's not typecasting himself. Oh, and there's this other guy you might have heard of who got his start on this film. His name was John Depp.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know what ever became of him now. I thought for sure he'd go places, aside from the ceiling. Here's a crazy fact that you might not know, though. Johnny Depp only got this part because he was accompanying his friend Jackie Earle Haley to an audition for the film, and Craven looked at Depp and said that he was perfect for the part. Haley would actually go on to play a lot of amazing characters. He was Rorschach in Watchmen, and he actually got a chance to play Freddy Krueger in the 2010 remake of Nightmare on Elm Street, which kind of brings this whole thing full circle. And if you want my review of that movie,
This won't hurt one little bit. What game do you want to play next?
Fuck you.
Ooh, sounds like fun.
It took everything away that made Freddy Krueger awesome. He seemed bored doing the lines that he was given, and he didn't have nearly the same amazing personality. Plus, the kills seemed uninspired and didn't take advantage of the fact that you were in a dream. Nothing fantastic happened in the entire movie.
I'm just glad you're safe.
Except for that was actually pretty cool.
This is just a dream. He isn't real. He isn't real.
New Line Cinemas is sometimes referred to as the house that Freddy built, and it's for good reason. This film was a major success, not only because it was profitable, but also because it was good. It was a good horror movie. It had an amazing setup for scares, a fantastic crew of characters, and one of the most influential horror icons of all time in Freddy Krueger. Now, don't get me wrong, Freddy has had his ups and downs. After this movie, he got a little silly, and they really embraced the fact that anything can happen in a dream, so why not have him use a power glove?
Get out of here now, please! Now!
Hey, you forgot the power glove!
I think I might have to do a video in the future about his stupidest deaths. And as you look back on Wes Craven's body of work, he's had some undeniable successes and hits, but I still consider this to be his best. In my opinion, it's the most creative, the most influential, and it just had the most effort put into it. And that's why I make an opportunity to watch this every chance that I get, and you should too. And seriously, watch Never Sleep Again. I know it's a long-ass sit, but it's friggin' worth it. So this month is almost coming to a close, and I'm going to have to end pretty strong. This movie was pretty mainstream, so for the next one I think I'm going to have to go a little bit more underground. Like underground. Like under the ground, if you know what I'm talking about. It's The Descent. The Descent is what I'm referring to.
Don't let me down, I'll see what